to Plantish. I'm Nina Curtis. My co-host Sesabek Rando and I go live Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're thrilled to have you join us today. We are excited to get into conversation with our guest, and she will be joining us momentarily. And we just look forward to hearing where you're tapping in from. What are you having this morning as your beverage of choice? First, this is no joke. We are going live and we're thrilled to have you. Hello, Chef.
Hi, Chef. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Happy April 1st.
April 1st. Yes. How are you feeling? How's your day going?
You know, it's going. I've been up and rocking and waiting for everybody else to get up and hang with me. I think I wake up on the East Coast and I go to sleep on the West Coast.
Oof.
And somewhere in between, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
are you
oh my goodness.
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm flowing into my day. Got a good
Yes.
workout in. I have a
Oh,
smoothie
nice.
here. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling balanced, nourished.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, I am thrilled to be here with you and everyone that is joining us. Please share where you're tapping in from. I'm thrilled for our guest today. We have been looking forward to speaking with her, and I know she'll be joining us soon. So, what is everybody else doing today? It's a Tuesday. It's the 1st of April. Some call it April Fools. There's nothing foolish about this day. I want you to know we are alive and well and going to get this party started. I've known Angela Means, our guest today, since 2017, I believe it's amazing how time flies. And she is so amazing. She is such a multi-talented human being. You know, people may know her from there she is. We see her. People may know her from Fridays. People may know her as an author. Her latest book, Seven Sinners and the Angel Who Loved Them. And I love the fact that Angela
Uh-oh.
actually in the Greek mythology means angel. So hello, angel. Good morning, angel. Looking
That's
like an
me.
angel.
Thank you, dear. You make me feel angelic. You make me an angel. I'm telling you, you make me feel so divine
Oh,
whenever I speak to you and how you engage. You are actually the angel, or you are the keeper of angels. You are
well.
the supporter of angels.
You made my day. That's a tall order. Chef Sesabek, Angela Means. I want you both to
Hello,
meet
dear.
because I have to
Hello.
kind of digest that.
Wow.
You are the one that, I mean, just how you greet people. You're the one that really got that sis star phrase, everyone using it. So stars are celestial, and you always identify with celestial beings. And look at you,
Um,
you just glow. You glow like a star.
oh, well, you know, sis stars and brother stars glow. That's what
Yeah.
we do. We're thrilled to have you here. Look how beautiful you look.
Thank you. Thank
It-
you. I'm giving you my Prince vibe.
I
I'm
now
giving you a
know
little.
where Prince got his look from. Let it be told, Mr. Prince up there. We now know the word is out.
Set my coffee down.
So
I'm
how
sitting in
are
my
you?
I'm in my Airbnb right now, my front house. So you know I don't live in Los Angeles anymore. I
Yes,
live in
yes,
I live near the Panhandle in Texas.
yes.
Yeah, and I'm here. I needed a break from Los Angeles. I worked myself. I mean, I just worked myself into the ground. And I needed a change. And I wanted to stay in the hospitality industry. I wanted to stay serving people. I wanted to continue with, what I do. And that's cooking and housekeeping and creating. I
Yes.
wanted to say creative, but mostly in the hospitality industry because, when you think about it, that's what we do as food alchemists. It's hospitality and, presentation, everything. It just lends itself to hospitality and being hospitable. I mean, you could just throw some oatmeal in a bowl and here you go. But what we do, the three of us do, is it's hospitality. So I'm in the front house. I've got a back house on the property, and then I have another structure that we're going to be converting into a property. And then once all these properties are set and ready to go, um, I'll be back. I'll be back, but not anytime soon.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of work here, and I've got books inside of me. I've got
Yes.
books. So my one that's out right now that I've been um, promoting is Seven Sinners, Seven Sinners and the Angel Who Loved Them. Look how pretty
Wow.
she is. Speaking of celestial and divine, I would write a story about an angel, but she's a dark angel.
Oh,
Um,
that's
yeah,
a
I'm
twist.
yeah, she's a dark angel. She's a celestial enforcer,
Oh,
and
oh,
um, so the book, the it's described as a mystic final destination set in the music industry, steeped in numerology. So it's quite mysterious. There's twists and turns, but people are enjoying it.
I
Yeah.
love it. I can't wait to get into it. I've read several, reviews on it, and people are like, you didn't expect this, and it takes you this way, and I couldn't put it down. And oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting, you hear angel
Yeah.
like you and what you've
Right.
deemed me, and it's celestial, and it's usually of light, but there are fallen angels. So, we need to get into it. Los Angeles is the city of angels. And
That's
so while
true.
you say you're away, we never go away. We just, we're in our being. I think we take on titles and people feel like they have to live up to that. But, you know, that's one dimension of us. I don't know who is one dimensional.
Ex-
I'm not.
exactly. Well, our energy shifts. We take on different um, um, energy postures.
Yes.
You know, your energy is one thing going into, the restaurant space. You gotta really get that energy. It's just an energy shift.
Yes.
That's really what it is. And I had to shift my energy because there's only so much you can do. And I can never get that through my head that I can't do everything. Girl, in 3 months' time, I bought a house, moved across country, closed a restaurant, opened a restaurant, published 2 books, and nursed a sick dog
Mm.
in a 3 month span. And I hit a wall like around Christmas time. I had to take a break. I closed for a couple of weeks, and then I started on the book, and I just on I started on the second because I've got the story for book 2, but I had to shift my energy. I had to
Yes.
shift it to savor the energy that I had, that I wanted to put into literature and my career as an author. So I'm gonna have so many hyphens. This is so corny, but when I get in front of God, and I know that I will, I'm going to let him know that I don't have any more talents left because I used them all.
Yes.
I used them all up.
I say that
That's so
always.
corny. Do
I
you?
say
And
it
that's
always.
really
I
how
do
I am.
not want to be standing in front of my maker and be asked, did you use all of the gifts I gave you? And not be able to say yes. So we are right on point there together
Yep.
because I think it's important, people tuning in, people who will listen to the replay,
I'm
that they
sorry. I had something in my
recognizing.
eye.
No, no, no,
I'm
understood
listening. I'm with
that they,
you.
no, no. I just want people to understand that, especially in 2025 and what we're going through, that we have to be all that God has, I say God respectfully, however you receive anybody, but
Right.
we need to know we were made out of brilliance. So how could we be any less? And, if we feel like we're not showing up for ourselves, we're just work in progress. So I love that you're sharing this with us because I think people see people that are successful and think they just have some magic wand or there's something special about them and others can't attain that. But, I always say be careful what you ask for because you will get it. So be ready, stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And I just love all that you do, but more importantly, how you are able to say, wait a minute, Angela, you know, I, I always say, can we renegotiate this agreement? I know what I signed up for coming into this world, but it didn't turn out like I'm thinking it. And he just laughs, they just
Yeah.
laugh, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
Spirit laughs and goes, ha, you got jokes. And it is April 1st, guys. This is no joke here. We are with Angela Means, the multi-talented human angel, artist, author, actress, model, chef, vegan chef, animal advocate. I want to know
And
about
mother.
all those mother first. Yes, please. Don't have your son come for me. I am sorry, son. That was on the first, and then I got excited. We know you are there and her biggest fan. Can you tell us a bit about your fur babies? How many do you have right now? You've rescued so many animals.
I've rescued a lot of animals, and it wasn't my intention, but I did it intentionally, right?
Yes.
Because I looked around, there's so much space, there's land, and I was like, you know what? Um, that was one of the things that was missing in my life was the animal energy. So I wasn't going to do it right away. I was going to get everything set up, but as fate would have it, I found Lady, who is no longer with us. You were so
Oh,
supportive. Yeah, she
wow.
Lady had
Oh,
puppies. I thought the property was secure enough, but it wasn't. Another dog got in, got her
mm.
pregnant. Like, we didn't see anything. I mean, she never went missing. They got in, and unless it was the Immaculate Conception,
Well,
which which I don't. Hey, but during birth, one of the puppies scraped her bladder
oh.
and it leaked into her entire body. She just
Mm,
swelled up. And
mm.
Thanksgiving morning, I rushed her to the vet, and they were like, "No, you know." And it's so hard because I found her like literally 2 months after I moved in.
I
And
remember.
yeah, I didn't even have furniture in the second structure yet. It was just a bare structure, and she just got me through it. Like, she was something for me to her energy was just amazing, and I could match her energy, and just something living that I could tend to, other than these four walls, which they're no longer sterile, but at the time everything was just so sterile, and I was cleaning and cleaning out energy, and her energy was just so beautiful. She just lifted me when I really, really needed her. So I have one of her babies left, and he's a big old goofy chocolate lab. Like, he's huge. He's not even 6 months old yet, and he's just huge, and his paws are as big as my hand. So I have, and his name is Monroe, and I
Monroe.
have Gerald Gerard, who was a Chihuahua pit. If you can believe something exists, a Chihuahua pit. And then I have Reddy, who I call Puggly Wuggly, because she's a pug pit bull mix, and she prefers Puggly Wuggly. If I say Reddy, she'll just kind of stamp her and she'll turn her back. But if I say, "Come here, Puggly Wuggly," she'll just run to me. So her name is now Puggly Wuggly. And then I have Ypsilanti, who is he's a Calahula. Um, Yeah, Kalahula. Oh God, what is he mixed with? The kind that have the beard.
Oh,
Um,
I know.
Schnauzer. He's a
Yes.
Kalahula Schnauzer, and he's gorgeous. And he literally can walk on his back feet across the yard. He's amazing. So once I get to a certain point, we'll start training him to do tricks, and you'll start seeing stuff. And then I have 6 cats. Actually, yeah, Elle DeBarge, and I have Lauren Cypress Hill, and I have Sammy Davis Jr., which I call Sammy, Elle DeBarge, I call Elle, Lauren Cypress Hill, I call Cypress, and then I have Texas, who's just huge. Texas is just this big old, beautiful, just loving, just welcome to Texas kind of cat. And then I have Smokey and Craig, and then
You have
and if you see,
surpassed the Brady Bunch.
I was surpassed the Brady Bunch. And then Elle just had babies.
Oh, wow.
So those two, I think I'm going to name one Run and the other one DMC.
I
So
love it.
that's yeah. But I have enough space, and and I get a lot of help with them. I get a lot of donations, food and things like that. So and then even veterinarian services, I get help. So I'm able to do it. 2 of the cats were strays.
Mm,
One of them I got from a neighbor who couldn't care for it, and then the other 4 were birthed here on the property.
I love that. Fam,
Yeah.
thank you for joining in. If you're just joining in, you see we are with the beautiful Angela Means. You may know her from Friday. You may know her from Cousin Skeeter. You may know her from hanging with Mr. Cooper. You may know her as the CEO founder of Jackfruit Cafe. However you know her, she is here pouring into us and sharing with us about her family of fur babies. We know her son is doing fabulous things in his own right, and we are just thrilled to celebrate her and
Aw,
speak with her. You know, Chef Angela, Chef Sesabek is vegan since birth.
beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. That,
Mhm.
that is like, God, I just can't, I just imagine sometimes. And I always, I know, so you're probably like the third or fourth person that I have come across that's vegan since birth. And I always, when I first went vegan and I first, realized the harm that we were doing to animals, I I realized that all of these souls, all of these tormented souls have passed through me. And I realized a lot of times in my life that energy has moved me in a way that wasn't to my advantage. But I thoroughly believe that you take everything that you get, um, and you use it, because struggle, it doesn't have anything to do with you being vegan from birth, but it's just one of my beliefs is that struggle produces or creates currency. Through that struggle, if you go through it the same way bison, when the rainstorm comes, they run through the rainstorm because they know they'll be out of the rain sooner, as opposed to the cow and everyone else running from the rain.
Yeah.
So if you run through the rain with your struggle, it will create currency. um, wow, fantastic. Kudos to your mother and your family for I'm sure you wanted McDonald's every now and then, seeing kids with McDonald's. You weren't even curious about it?
No, not at
Gosh,
all. You can't miss something you never had before.
I love it.
So,
But all the promotion, how they just pushed it on us, the
yeah.
the Happy Meals and get your toy, and see the commercial. Child, they used to tear Happy Meals up. I'm not proud about it, But I did, and one of the last meals that that I had was the last one was at Mel's Fish Shack.
Yeah.
I had some catfish. But one of the meals, one of my go-to meals, I just would go and grab a fish sandwich from McDonald's with no cheese, light tartar sauce, and I always carry my hot sauce in my bag, swag.
No, that's right.
So I throw a little hot sauce on there. But to never have had it is God. I I'm so honored by speaking to you
Oh my
and
gosh.
having such a clean palate. Like your whole spirit is clean. Like you are speaking of an angel and divinity and celestial. Like there's been no death in you, no blood, no torture, no torment, no angry person's action. Wow. I wish I wish I had gone vegan sooner because I'm from a farm. And I probably would have always fed my son, being, in the school of thought, and I was a foster kid. So you're going to eat that food, you're not going to get sick here. You think you're supposed to have it. And it wasn't until I started meeting people who had been vegan for 30 years, 40 years. Man came into the restaurant on Crenshaw that we had, said he had been vegan for 40 years. And I was like, I can really do this. I can just, and I have. I've been vegan now for over a decade. Yeah. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the exact day. I don't have an anniversary, but I was so desperate to get to this space that I'm just so happy to be here. Yeah.
We're happy
So
for
your
you.
your your parents are obviously vegan,
My
and
grandparents. Yeah.
your grandparents.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Oh God, where are they from?
They're from here, the Carolinas. They were just, that conscious couple.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah.
they must be around my age. They came around in the 60s,
Yeah.
late 50s,
Right.
early 60s,
Right.
when people were waking up.
Right. Right. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That was really the um I think people have been vegan throughout time. Um because my body literally, when I stopped consuming meat, things just changed.
Mm.
Odors went away, teeth ache went away, um, mindset just like, Jesus, this is the world. Wow. And I've just been layering myself and calcifying my energy and my brain and my pineal gland. And it was the 60s when people were starting to wake up and challenging the status quo. um, interracial couples. My dad is white, my mom is black. When I was born, it was still illegal. And it wasn't until 1967 that the Lovings challenged that. Said, hey, we're human beings and we want to be together, and you have no right to say that we can't. And that was right around the time where people said, hey, I don't want to eat flesh. Oh, just thinking about it just make
Wow.
yes. But I have stopped. I was such a staunch, and I think this happens to it. You won't understand this, but when people like me come to the realization, veganism, animal cruelty, health, environment, when we come to the world, when we come to our senses, we become this super activist. You always see a new vegan because they are the one charging in. They are the one. How dare you? I
Yeah.
look at I look at it now. Hey, I can only give you the information. I can only tell you how I feel, and I can only make suggestions. I can't sound your alarm. And if you get sick, let's just try this.
Mhm.
But there are people who are so staunch. Like, there are people who only eat meat and swear by it. You know, I look at, so I had to back up too, and I had to check myself because I did eat meat, you know, because that's what I was raised in. That's what my community did, my environment did. We raised cattle, we raised pigs, we raised chickens, and we enjoyed the process of cooking them and farm to tabling them. But I look at some of the like the way that some of the animal activists still treat Michael Vick
Mhm.
gets under my skin, because Michael Vick did some heinous, cruel things, but Michael Vick took accountability. And that's what being in this divinity, being in a celestial world is about. It's not about keeping your foot on somebody's neck. It is about forgiveness. It's about, particularly if they take accountability the way that Michael did. And he lost everything. He lost the most, he was on his way to being the greatest quarterback in history. He lost that. He completely lost that. He lost millions of dollars. And I look at people who continue, like I'll post something about Michael, and then I get all of these activists saying, you know, what are you supporting him for? Like, that was 25 years ago, first of all.
Mhm.
And secondly, that was his environment. That's what he was raised in. Sure, he knew it was wrong, but I don't think he looked at it the way that we look at it, because Newport News is no joke. So I ate meat because that was my environment. And we'll come to a point where we realize how dead wrong it was. And what they're doing to these cows is the same thing that Michael did to these dogs. So I look at these activists and I say, wait a minute, you can't say anything because you weren't vegan from birth. And until you apologize and until you repent and make penance for eating tortured cows consciously, because that's what your environment told you to do,
Yeah.
you can't say anything to anyone. So
Mm.
I can't say anything to anyone about anything. I just want to be a shining example of um, creativity, compassion, um, intellect, kindness when I can. You know, I fit in. I get in where I fit in at this point, and for some reason, I just kind of stick out. I always stick out, and people are interested in what I'm doing. So I
Wow.
had someone come up to me one time. They just said, "You do cool stuff. You do." They said the S word, like, "You do cool stuff. You do cool." I was like, "I'm just doing me, so I guess I'm cool." Okay. I guess. But I follow my heart. I have no fear. I'm an only child. I'm a one. I'm born on the 19th. 1 and 9 is 10. One, 1 and 0 is 1. So there's nothing in front of me except God. And I'll always be the one to everything is behind. I'll always be the one to say, come on, we're going this way. And people follow me. And so that's why ones go straight up. We just go straight up. We don't go to the side. We don't go forward. We just go straight up. So I look at it like I'm just building a tree, and I have the roots. Jackfruit Cafe. My son, you know, raising him was rooted me. And then Jackfruit Cafe was another branch, and then animal activism, it's a branch, and then my book is a branch. I'm just going up, up, up. And we we know what's right for us. We know what's right for us, and we know what's wrong for us. Struggle is one thing. Um, when I say struggle creates currency, it it absolutely does. It puts us struggle. So when I was a young comedian, I struggled, um, and that's you absolutely have to. You don't come out of the womb walking. you fall down, you crawl. And
Mhm.
it's, you know, it's, we just use it as a cliche, but we crawl before we walk, and we hurt ourselves and we fall down and we might scrape our knees, but we get back up. We keep getting back up. And so I remember when I was a young comedian here in LA, a lot of the comedians wanted to get together and boycott the Los Angeles clubs. And I was like, no, 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 no. This is where I struggle. This is where I'm crawling. This is where I fall down. I am not asking them for money. I'm thanking God that they even exist. So now I go out on the road. And that's where my currency is created through this struggle. Look at music artists. I don't know a whole lot about the music industry, but I do know that they get these bad contracts. They get these horrible contracts, but they sign them. They sign them. And then later on go, oh, I didn't know. You signed a contract that gave this entity 80% of your profits. And you took this $1 million advance that you have to pay back out of the 20% that you get. So now you're in this struggle and you have to create because you have found yourself drowning in debt. And you have to create. But what it creates is superstars that can now go on the road and make tens of millions of dollars. Maybe you're not going to make money off of that record because this record company, you use their resources, you use their know-how, their advertisement, their relationships to make you a star. And now that you are a star, you are this divine celestial being, you have currency. And a lot of times that currency gets wasted when you look back and say, oh, no, you took from me. But what did they give you? You have a currency that's not, you can't grab it. You have to go out and you can spend it properly by doing concerts, public appearances, creating books, getting into right partnerships. You could own superstars that find themselves on hard time. If you were the most famous person in the world, you should own malls. You should, if being that wealthy is your thing, you can do it. You can do it because struggle creates currency. So my struggle created my currency, and my currency is, I don't have a whole lot, but I have something. I have something that I feel good about. I have something that um, I could say I did the dang thing, and
You did.
I
You
spent my
did. You
currency
did.
properly.
You definitely did. Fam, we thank you for coming in. We've got people coming
Yeah.
in because they see
Yeah.
Angela Means is here with us. We want to recognize you. We see you. We see your comments. Chef Sesabek, do you see any comments that stand out? I know some
Yes,
people are saying hello to Angela. We just want her to hear it.
absolutely. First of all, Chef Angela, I just want to say to you, you are so nourishing. Just you sitting here speaking with us, I feel so nourished, and I want to thank you for taking the time out to be here. There's so much power in your story, and I'm moved. I feel it. I'm feeling all the feels. So I just want to share that with you and say thank you for showing up and all that you are. And may you continue to have so much abundance as you move throughout this life.
Thank you. I do. I am abundant in so many ways, so many ways. And I'm so grateful. All day long, I go, ooh, thank you.
Mm, I
Ooh,
feel it.
thank you.
Yes,
Just,
everybody
I,
just
say,
gratitude.
ooh, thank you right now,
Ooh,
wherever you're
ooh,
at. Say
and,
thank you.
and
Be
feel it. There's no greater feeling than
grateful.
gratitude.
Yes.
You create a
that
Yes.
vibration.
frequency, and if you can just stay on that
Yeah.
frequency, that is currency. Gratitude is currency.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
what's the fam
100%.
saying, Chef? Let's let
100%.
Angela, Chef Angela know.
Yes, indeed. We're getting a lot of greetings. Champagne V. From Jared, we have used those gifts. Absolutely.
Oof.
Ah, my
Grandma
goodness. So
Barbie.
many hearts, so many hellos, hi. So inspiring. Yes, this conversation is a masterclass on life. Life
Oof.
101, what
Oof.
Chef Angela means. I'm
You know, it's
speechless.
it's speaking of life, I've lived a life since I was an actor. That was a whole other life. It's Friday's 30th anniversary next
Oh,
month.
wow.
30 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? It's just I can't. Wow. Wow. So I've used those 30 years. I've used them. I've mostly raised my son, and I've given him um, the permission to be great, and he is. Oh, thank you, Rain, Wind, Sun, Stars, 88. Thank you. Oof. I'm so grateful. I get the chills.
I have to ask you, because this is the era I've met you, I had known of you, but why Jackfruit Cafe?
Okay, I was a shareholder in a juice bar in Burbank,
Mm.
and can you believe that Chef Nina came out to my food truck? This actor who had the nerve to go into the food space, and she was just this legendary chef in this space. She came out and to hold my hand and to tell me whatever you need, don't hesitate to reach out. First of all, like sister. So I had this juice bar, and the partners just really wanted to stick with juices. And that's how I healed my body. When my son went to college is when I decided to go vegan. And I had a few ailments, and I just juiced and smoothied them away. It took about 4 or 5 months. I lost 70 pounds. I had a raw diet. Yeah, it about 4 months just juicing. It was mostly smoothies, just pushing everything out. We're a plant. So a young lady came in. We were over there by the film school, by AFI, I think it was the film school. And a young lady came in one time and she said, I had these jackfruit tacos the other night. Do you guys have them? And as soon as she said jackfruit, I knew, how you collect notes in the back of your head, and I knew that, I wouldn't be in this juice bar forever. I was there during my son's college years, and they didn't want to do food, and I was so good at food that I knew I would launch from there. I was just learning. I was head of operations, so she came in and said jackfruit, and it just sparked something in me and just stayed with me. So my original intention was to create a jackfruit to Chipotle.
Mhm.
And that's how I started down on Crenshaw. I had like 5 different flavored jackfruits, and you could put them in a burrito or a taco or a flauta, or you could make a soul bowl. And we surpassed all expectations. I knew that people in the hood, and I went back to Crenshaw because that's where I felt I was needed most. And that's the community that supported me as a young artist, as a young comedian coming up. And had it not been for that community, there would be no me. So I went back there to help. And it was right after What the Health. So I went through some names, and then honestly, it was it was divine and it was celestial. It just downloaded. It literally just downloaded. And one day I was like, Jackfruit Cafe. And one of the former presidents of the National Restaurant Association said, young lady, that name, you did it with that name. So that's where it came from. it. Literally just download it. And I feel like I've never tasted jackfruit like I prepared jackfruit.
Mm.
I promise you, there were some days I would taste it and be like, I've never ever tasted it prepared like I did. But the thing about it, I won't go back to jackfruit. I'm not going to go back to jackfruit unless I had a huge staff that was opening jackfruits, green jackfruits, and gutting them and going through that. I mean, to do that, you gotta have to have a full staff. You'd be there all day trying
Yeah.
to open up a green jackfruit. And that's I want to just do whole foods. I want to be like you, chef. I just want to do whole foods. And in order to get the jackfruit to the texture to really mimic meat, you have to use the young jackfruit. I mean, they have it in the packages now, but the one that I used was the Edwards Brothers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very big company.
Yes, and it was affordable. You've
Yes.
got to you've got to balance your parts. You've got to balance at the end of. So these packages were just. I would have had to have charged $10 a taco if I was. So I used the canned stuff, and then to process it wasn't very healthy, um, because you had to process it fast in order to get out of the red, in order to profit. So it just wasn't the healthiest. My
Mhm.
jackfruit just was not the healthiest. It contained oils, and it was very tough for a little small restaurant in South Central to use olive oil. I mean, all the money I would have spent $400 a month just on olive oil. Um, and that's why it's just not healthy to eat out. And that's why I just encourage people to, I put out a book. I've got a book of simple recipes, simple sauces, just to get people started. It's just not healthy to eat out because of how things are being cooked. Here I am wanting people to get off of meat, but I still had to cook in these seed oils. I still had to deep fry things. I still had to use things that had that weren't always a whole food because I didn't have a staff to prep, you know. Um, so I really encourage people to experiment at home and to figure out, okay, every day you might not want to be chopping vegetables or processing, but pick a day and meal prep. Chop all your tomatoes, seal them airtight. They'll stay a good 4 or 5 days. Chop your lettuce, chop your onions, seal them airtight. So then when you come home, you just grab a little of this, grab a little of that. Right now, I'm only eating raw. So I'm doing a lot of kelp. I just ordered a case of it. I love kelp. My white sauce, I do a ginger white sauce
Mm.
that, whew, chow. It's so good. I can eat it every day. And then tomatoes, the tomato sauce, you just get them in your food processor and let that food processor go. It's gonna get it warm. It'll get it warm enough where, because halfway through your pasta dish, you eating cold pasta by the time you finish anyway. So it's those first few bites where it's super hot and you enjoy that temperature, but you can have it lukewarm coming out of the food processor. So I make my own tomato sauce, my own fettuccine sauce, cashews and nutritional yeast, little lemon, little this, little that, some garlic, some onion powder, and it's really good. I'll do my own ranch. I have a basis, and then I can
Mm.
do everything off of that. I do a great Dijon curry dressing, and then my salads are just beasts. My salads are just Jesus. My salads are just monsters because I don't mind. I'm fast. Like before I know it, my son comes. My son just marvels over me. He goes, "Dang, mom, that was fast." I'm like, "This is what I do." It's like boom, 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 boom. one of my exes was like, he used to mimic me in the kitchen. He's like, this you.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. And it's like we've got this sixth sense in the kitchen. We know where everything is. I have some spices that whenever I reach for them, Chef Nina, I always associate them with you. So there's a certain part in my spice cabinet whenever I even look at it, I think about you,
Oh,
and it calms me and it settles me and it assures me and it gives me the same frequency. I get on the same frequency as when I first met you, and you put me on a certain frequency.
mm,
You put me on this divine frequency that I'm nurtured. And
thank
that's
you.
what life is. Life is just frequencies. That's where our God is. And if you can match that frequency, you can have everything. So this is really the truth. And manifestors will tell you this, and the great manifestors will tell you this. Everything has its own energy. So I tell people to start with, people who are having money problems. I say don't start with $1 million because you're going to end up in trouble. Start with, start with about $30,000, $40,000. And you picture that you have it, and you put it in. So that's a frequency. The same frequency as if you actually had it in your hand. Your thought is the exact same frequency. So you think about it, you just keep thinking about it, you just keep thinking about it. And every day you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have this $30,000, $40,000. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have it. You just keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it. And the universe will push it to you. You say open sesame. That is how it works. But we get in our own way. That term, get out your own way, because we start messing with our frequency. Oh, you got me messed up. You got me messed up with all of that. No, you got you messed up because you allowed your frequency to go here as opposed to saying here where that $30,000, $40,000 is. It might take a year, but just keep saying it. And start at, don't go past 50K, because then you're going into a space where you don't, just cap it at 50. Just keep saying, I'm so happy and grateful. And it will show up. It's guaranteed. It's how the universe works. And the universe works on energy. This is all energy. And when energy and matter come together, you create it. Prayers are just manifestation. That's a prayer. I'm so happy and you're so grateful. Gratitude makes it happen. Being happy, a certain frequency. I was so happy in Jackfruit Cafe. It was like when my son was a child, and it just brought me so much. It brought me so much currency.
You say something really important there because I know I can attest to it, and not speaking for Chef Sesabet, but we've talked about it. I don't know if people realize the magic in making your own food.
Your own hands, your own energy, your own vibration. I will close. I used to close sometimes when I was either ill. You don't want to cook sick anyway, but if I had something traumatic happen, I'm not cooking today. Y'all don't want me to cook today, because that energy, we are transmitters of energy and frequency. And you don't know what that cook is going through in the kitchen. You ever go to a restaurant and you have something and it's really, really good, and then you go back and something's off? Like, oh, it's got a little funkiness to it. That chef's wife just left him for his best friend, and he found out the baby ain't his. Okay? That's what's happening back there. He done went to the bathroom. He's mad. He stopped washing his hands. He's forgetting to wash his hands. He's forgetting about everything. He's thinking about, you know, this person and that person did him wrong and that person did him wrong. And now I'm mad and God damn it, I gotta go. Excuse me. I gotta go in here and make this food. And what? What do you mean they sent it back? The magic of creating your own food. My food is so my food is so good. My food is so good. When I eat when my son comes, he'll come for 10 days at a time, and I'll always offer him, hey, you want to go out? He goes, who's gonna cook what you cook? And I'm really waiting to see what he does with I mean, I can just see me every day. We'll eat twice a day. I normally just eat once a day, but with him, and then he'll have snacks and everything. He takes a picture of it. He's not one of those people that everywhere he goes, he's got to take a picture and post what he's eating. But Mama's food, like, you can imagine the creations that I make for him. And I'm just, one day those photographs are going to pop up in a post one day. He talks about his mom's food, but the magic of
Yes.
cooking yourself and putting that energy in it. You're thinking about this $50,000, and then that energy goes into the food, and then you're eating. Now you're double enforcing the frequency of the $50,000 that is on its way. It's soon as you say it, it's like the $50,000 thought and the actual $50,000 has the same frequency, and like attracts like. You ever put water, like you see water and they're next to each other, but if you shake it, it'll stick together, and then it's stuck together. Sand, you could do the same thing. It's all going to just stay together. And it's the same thing with matching frequency and energy. The bad kids are all going to find each other. The smart kids are all cliques. It's just energy. It's nothing personal, but it's just matched energy. So put everything that you want to consume. You consume what energy you want, and don't let anybody else. Like, I would rarely eat somewhere. I would love to eat your food, Chef Nina. And you as well, vegan from birth. But it's hard for me to go somewhere and be
Understandable.
be consuming this energy and this frequency, and you don't know what you're, and they just
Chef
no.
Angela. I love you are so real and so authentic in every part of your being. And that's the light. That's the one. That's the people want to be where you're at because that energy exudes. And your message, your advocacy, your voice, how you show up, you take action. We just want to celebrate you. And you've been getting all this love, people saying hello, and just reaching out and the hearts coming through. So what do you
Oh, let me
see
do a
before
pitch.
Angela? Hello.
Let me do a
Uh-oh, there we
pitch.
go. Seven
Seven
sinners and
sinners.
the angel who loved them.
It's gonna blow your mind. It's steeped in authenticity. The story is very authentic. I'm sorry, you were asking me what do I
No, no,
see?
no. Pull the book back out and keep it on your lap.
Oh,
Hold it
it's
up
here.
in the screen.
I have
Where?
to.
Okay, well, push one through the phone to me. Chef, you wait. I want mine. No, I'm
I
gonna
know
go get it.
you're gonna send me
No,
you're gonna send me
I'm
your
gonna go buy
address,
it. I'm going to go buy it. You're
and
not gonna send it
um,
to me. I'm gonna
the
buy the seven
angel.
sinners and the angel who love them. Where can people get it? Anywhere we can get books on
Absolutely.
online. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And
Amazon.
you
Hmm.
have the 85 vegan recipes you didn't know you craved.
Yes.
And I think they should get both of
I
those
think they should.
because
That one actually sells them. I'm sorry because
no, no, go ahead.
I'm
No,
sorry.
Oh, this is how we are when we're together talking. Wait, let me say this. I mean, that's what we do as fam when we get together. We're excited. We hear one word, we run off the other. Go right ahead.
That
This
one
is your space.
actually, that one has really sold well for me, and I'm
Okay.
so grateful to share that and to know that people are getting that energy, because the energy that I put into that book, and when people make those recipes, they are getting a certain energy. Trust and believe. It was when I did that book, I was in the stillness of, okay, you're not your son's not at home anymore, so you're not a football mom anymore. And that went really fast. I didn't have time to sit as an empty nester, because as soon as he graduated college, he was drafted, and we opened Jackfruit Cafe. That was his football career, his education. It was all a whirlwind. I was that mom that was cooking. I cooked his food, and April 11th is a 2. So someone is inboxing me. That's a 2. That's 2 people standing next to each other. That's partnership. Embrace partnership. Do not try to do it on your own. You are 2 ones standing next to each other. You are strong. And you will be strong in a partnership if you bring a certain frequency, and if your partner, if you find the other person that matches your frequency. Don't try to push anything. If you push it, then find your match, and you'll find magic. Someone had just inboxed me that. So my son, that was a whirlwind. Jackfruit Cafe was a whirlwind. And then when I closed it, all of a sudden, after 25 years, it was all quiet. What is this quiet space? What is this? It's currency. This is, I got here. I got to a quiet, peaceful space after, got to get the practice, got to get the cleats, got to get the homework, got to get the interview, got to get this, got to get, woo, woo, woo. It's quiet. And the best that I could have shared at the time was how to eat, because that's what got me through the whirlwind. That's what got me here. How do you eat clean? How do you do it? And so many people, so many people ask me, how do I go meat? How do I stop eating meat? Stop eating meat. Stop eating it. And then, you come, you hear these terms that you can pass on to people. You like meat because you season it with plants. Season plants with plants. Well, I don't know how to cook this, and I don't, and then you start teaching people how to texturize certain things, how to get to. You're never going to have a meat texture unless you're doing something crazy, or it takes a long time dehydrating things, but then you're pulling nutrients out, you're pulling fluids out, that if you're eating too much dehydration, you're going to pull fluids out of yourself. So as I sat in this stillness, I realized that I just wanted to do something very, very simple. The recipes in 85 vegan recipes, they'll never match what you do, Chef Nina.
It's
Never
not
in
about matching. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Hold
right.
on. Hold on. You know me.
I do. I do.
You have something. So speak life into it and speak to what it is, because a lot of people need a foundational basic setting that they feel
That's it.
comfortable doing. So now start that book about 85 vegan recipes that you didn't know you craved. Tell us
It's a
what it's about.
very, very, very
Mm.
simple, very, very basic. So something where you can start, and then you can build, and then you can get to a Chef Nina.
I don't know if you want a Chef Nina because Chef Nina comes home after cooking for others, and I want a kale salad. So I default to the easiest. Don't let anybody fool you. Chefs love to cook. Well, most chefs. But, those of us that are here in this green world that are plant-based or vegan, we are human when we come in our home kitchens.
Yeah.
The world has changed a lot since 2020 because everybody went
Right.
viral, and so a lot of chefs, we're in our home kitchens because that feels more natural to people to share with them the basics like your 85 vegan recipes. And so, don't get it twisted. Just like somebody that goes to work as an attorney, a CPA, a lawyer, they want to cut it off. So do we
That is true.
most
That is very,
of
very
the
true.
time.
That is very, very true. So 85 vegan restaurants, it came about. It was another one of those downloads.
Yeah.
I just constantly, my inbox was filled with, how do I do this? I want to go vegan. Share this with me. Do you have this? Do you have a recipe? So I just said, you know what? I'm going to do a book. And it took a minute, like, just gathering recipes. I didn't use any of the recipes that are somewhat of the basis of my business.
Yeah.
That is in the next book. I'm working on a book called Mushroom Cafe,
Oh,
where
love it.
I'm not using
Jackfruit.
jackfruit. I'm using just, there's so many mushrooms. There's so many mushrooms and they're so good. And I think they mimic meat better than that lion's mane. It's insane
Chef's
how good it is,
kiss.
how clean it is, how versatile it is. You can do anything with it. The enoki, so that's the next cookbook. And then I will divulge some of the old family recipes because I'm not going back to a soul food restaurant. There's a reason that soul food there's no chains of soul food restaurants. Soul food restaurants, cooking soul food is one of the hardest thing on a big scale, is one of the hardest tasks. I mean, you see all these chains, the IHOPs and the Applebee's and this and that. they not they not they're not cooking like a soul food cook. And you guys know everything that we have to do, from picking this and picking the right ingredients and sauteing it to this point, and then it just, and most of that stuff comes packaged in these chain restaurants. You can't package soul food and match a real soul foods pot. You can't do it. So I'm not going back to soul food because in order to maintain that level of consistency where people bite into it and say, God, I taste passion. I taste love. This is so good. There's people coming and say, this is the best food I've ever eaten in my life. To match that just required too much struggle. So my next venture is going to be a taco fusion. So like a California pizza kitchen, California
Okay.
taco kitchen,
All right.
and I'm going to limit it to days. And I'm going to do a small truck, and I'll do pop-ups, and I'll have an Indonesian and a Mexican taco one day, and then one day a Thai taco, and Italian take on taco. Um, but I'll always have my birria,
Yeah.
my birria taco. Just the bomb. So that's my plans for the future. And I won't have, girl, I had and cooked them all from scratch. Black eyed peas, black beans, pinto beans, all three pots going. My mac and cheese was like 10 different ingredients to make that mac and cheese. Then I have a pot of collard greens. The cornbread was made from scratch. It was just, and then after 2020, the staffing was almost impossible.
Yeah. And the
So,
supply chain,
and
everything changed. Yeah.
everything changed.
Yeah.
So, but the recipe book came from the stillness that I was enjoying, and and finally having time to create in stillness as
Yes.
opposed to chaos. And that's what I manifested out of it was helping people create magic at home and create clean foods with just the simplest of recipes. And throughout the book, I encourage you to try spices, try different things. This is just a basis. These are just the spices that I use. That doesn't mean that you can't try something. You know, if you're from Africa, if you're from Poland, if you're from here, if your parents are from Jamaica, try some of those spices. You know, it'll all work out. Just don't. Cooking is alchemy. Don't be afraid to be an alchemist. Don't be afraid. No one's, you know, if it turns out bad, toss it and start over. At least you learn. You know, the struggle will create currency, and your currency through learning how to cook. The currency, health is your wealth. That's your currency through your
Yeah.
struggle of learning how to create and putting the frequency that you want to maintain into what you're consuming. So put your own frequency into what you're consuming, not somebody else's. So that's where that book came from. And I did them kind of simultaneously. I already had 7 sinners and an angel who loved them. I've had this story in me for 20 years. I
Wow.
just didn't have the time to serve it. And but I took, when I finally closed, I moved a couple times and I finally closed. Um, I took like 18 months and I created these 2 books. And
That's beautiful.
yeah, and they were both just downloads. I just, when you eat clean and your antennas aren't calcified, you get downloads. And if you are living authentically, you know, you should absolutely be concerned with what people think to a certain point, because you can't live your life trying to manipulate it to appease what other people think of you. As long as you are serving something greater than yourself, um, you have to live authentic. Don't be afraid of it. People are going to go away. Let them. Those aren't your people. If you are living authentic and you're living a certain frequency at a certain frequency and you are putting in a certain energy, don't be afraid of who goes away. Let them. And you go the other way. If they come back, it's okay, but they have to come back with the right frequency, the right energy, so you can be authentic. I only have a few people around me. There's not a whole lot of people who can match um, what I put out in the world.
Yes. Yes. Bam, you heard it here. You heard it here first.
Look at my
We've
curl.
been speaking with Chef Angela we know where Prince got his look from. Don't let it get twisted. We thank you for joining us, fam. We thank you for the love you've been showing to Angela Means. You may know her as Chef Angela. Chef Angela Means, Friday, 30 years coming up this month. Can you believe it? Some of you are just learning about Fridays or you hear it from your families, but it's been real. It is Taco Tuesday, and there's a reason that Chef Angela, Chef
Wow.
Sesabek, and I love tacos so much. Tacos rate in the top 3 of American food. Americans eat 4.5 billion tacos a year. That comes to 490,000 tacos are being eaten an hour. So she's on to something. I've been on to something. If you love tacos, you know. And we have been so thrilled to have you, Sister Angela, and to share authentically, being your transparent self, the love of your fur babies, letting us have you for this hour and some time. We just bless you. Chef Sesabek, what are your thoughts right now? Because I know I can see in your eyes, it's just taking it all in.
Yes, indeed. This conversation was definitely like a big meal, like a spread. And you just go down the line and you're just picking up all these
Oh,
wonderful dishes. So nourishing.
when
So
is your birthday,
nourishing.
Chef?
My birthday, August 31st. I'm a three.
That your life path is a
Yeah.
3, but the 31st is a 4. Your day
Mmm.
is a 4, and 4s are royalty. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Damon Wayans, royalty. Eve, that's royalty. And it's law and order. 4 is law and order. And the strongest structures, the biggest buildings have 4 corners. You're like your your law and order. I bet I bet you your process is absolutely beautiful. What is your what is one of your go-to dishes?
Ooh, one of my go-to dishes. I would have to say right now, anything with quinoa. Anything with quinoa.
Oh
So
my
after
God, I'm
this,
doing
I'm
quinoa
actually
right now.
really
Well, not right now because I'm
Yeah,
going raw for a month, but
right.
leading up to that. So what are some of the stuff that you're doing with quinoa?
So after this session, I'm making a stuffed pepper and I'm taking some lentils and quinoa and I'm sauteing it with some peppers and onions and teriyaki sauce. And then I'm putting that into the pepper and then I'm going to bake it and then top it off with some fresh scallions.
What are you drinking these
What am
days?
I drinking? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. So right now, this is my go-to smoothie right now. So there's banana, there's soy milk, there's spirulina, a little matcha, some hemp seeds, spinach, and I blend that up and that's my morning drink every single day.
that's why you so. Have you always been? Um, has your frequency always been this way?
Oh no,
Is
absolutely not. I was very grounded as a child, but life was very turbulent for me, and I went through a lot, and it brought me to where I'm at today. So when you're sharing your story about, your struggle being currency, I'm able to relate with that so much because I've went through very turbulent times, but it brought out the best in me. It grounded me. It gave me the roots and the foundation. One of the things that I say often is when I came into the world, I was very sure. I was that one confident kid. I always knew. I was sure. I was very opinionated. And that's why when my family, growing up vegan, that was something that we did. I'm like, hey, like, this is it. Y'all taught me what I needed to know. So this is law. So, going throughout life, I then began to take on other people's opinions and I started to put on layers that didn't belong to me. And that brought turbulence. And I came to a breaking point and I began to remove the layers and get back to who I was at center. And that is who you see right now. I've gone through a weight loss journey of losing close to 100 pounds. I've done so many things. So thank you for seeing me, first of all. But who you see today was born out of very turbulent times.
so you're a Virgo,
I am a Virgo.
and my son's a Virgo,
Okay.
and you're mutable, so it's that's a dangerous situation for you to be in if you don't guard yourself because you can
Mm,
mute right into whoever you're with, the frequency around you. You are, but the fact that you're a 4 lends itself to what Virgos really, really love, and um, that's having process. You love your process. You
absolutely.
love your order, your law and order. You've come to a space like right now that wherever you go from here is going to be magnificent. Make sure you inbox me. So I make sure that we're following each other. I want to follow you from where you are now. You're so young and your energy is just you're so ready for you're ready to take the currency from that other struggle, take that currency and put it into your new struggle. That's going to take you to higher currency because of the law and the order that you are, and being the Virgo that you are. um there's no stopping you, whatever. I mean, I don't know what your goals are. I don't know your thought process. I can feel it, but whatever you're thinking, think bigger, because you not only have the energy that will attract the right, but you have the look, the posture, your tone, everything. And you're a Virgo 4. You are law and order, you know.
You've heard it here, fam. We have gone since 9 a.m. and we've had you hanging out with us, Chef Sesabek. People are asking that you send the food over that you just described, and we know that
Yeah.
you are cooking up some things over there, and we need to let you do that too. Chef
Okay.
Angela Means, we thank you for joining us. We always ask our guests, well, most of them, we want you to come back. We want you to come
Absolutely.
back when the time is right, because this is not just a conversation we have and then thank you for joining us. First of all, we know each other in person, in real life, you know, IRL, which became something that I was like, what are you talking about? But I get it now. So we want to thank you, fam. You've hung out with us. We will, for those you all know that if you can't make us live, we are going to hit the replay button when it populates
Okay.
so you can sit, because I know Chef Sesabek and I will watch it 2, 3, 4 times, because it's one thing being in it and then being able to watch it and take
Yes.
all the gems and pearls that have been shared with us by Angela. We congratulate you on 30 years of Friday coming up. Good Lord. And we could go down the list, but people know we've seen you. We continue to see you. You shine in all your brilliance, as everyone here does. And we always say before we end this live, we ask you to walk out into your brilliance and shine brighter. And if people have to put on sunglasses, let them, but do not show up for yourselves and the God-given gifts that you've been given. You know, Chef Sesabek and I will be back next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will do nothing but continue to celebrate Angela Means today, tomorrow,
Oh,
and moving forward as we celebrate Chef Sesabek and all that come into our community, because that's what it takes. The village is the community. We do nothing alone, fam. And this has just been a delicious, rich, full of depth. You can find a gem no matter what part of this replay we're going to repost. You watch. And we thank you. We
thank
thank you,
you.
Sister Angela,
Thank
Chef
you.
Angela, Advocate Angela, Artist Angela, all the gifts that you are using to your fullest. You are a true model, a true example for us to look to. And we thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you so much for having me. This was really a pleasure, and what a way to start my day.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But tell us you'll come back.
Absolute
Okay.
girl.
We got you on tape. That's all I need to know.
Absolutely.
Kula already knows about that. Asha Weldon, that has been in here supporting. She's a beautiful, beautiful sister that has Kula. She's in Canada. She's just come into California. You want to check out kulafoods.ca. Angela, where is the best place? We can follow you here, obviously. Chef Angela
Here.
Means,
And then
but
my
where would you like
website,
us to? Yeah.
Angela Means. chefangela.com. I
Okay.
started a blog. I've got about 6 really great entries in right
Okay.
now. But I'm most active here on Instagram,
Yes.
Chef Angela Means.
Okay.
And
Great.
yeah,
I always like to have an option because, these platforms are not promised. And the
that part.
people I know, like right here, the three of you and others in the chat, Chef Dom, we saw you coming through, holding down LA there with your food and all. We are a family and we thank you all for being here. So that is chefangelameans.com. Jot
No,
that
it's no,
down. Oh, Angela
just
Means.
Angela.
Okay, excuse me.
AngelaMeans.com. Yep.
AngelaMeans.com. Follow her if you haven't. Follow Chef Sesabek if you haven't. Follow me if you like what you've heard us sharing and saying, because you'll just get notifications. But we will be back next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So now let's go off into our brilliance because we will find each other. And thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Angela, Sister
Thank you.
Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
Bye,
much.
everyone.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too, darling.